Japan's got a rep for bulletproof cars, but you know what I know, right? Not every badge out there is built the same anymore. Some brands still build tanks, while others are just coasting on their past glory, hoping you won't notice the shortcuts. What's up? It's Scott from CarlandTV, and today I'm ranking Japanese car brands from best to worst in real build quality. There's no fanboy bias here, just cold, wrench-turning facts. But first, do me a quick favor. Tap that subscribe button and ring the bell so you don't miss what's coming next. It ain't required, but those clicks keep this thing rolling and make it easier for me to keep dropping solid car content straight to your screen. Now, let's get back into it. 1. Toyota. I put Toyota near the top because the scorecards keep landing there, year after year. In J.D. Power's 2025 Vehicle Dependability Study, Lexus led overall, and Toyota ranked third among mass-market brands, which tells you the production system is still tight deep into ownership. Consumer Reports' latest brand reliability data backs that up, with Lexus and Toyota sitting in the lead group based on hundreds of thousands of owner surveys. That's not hype. That's problems per 100, and owner-reported faults trending low across powertrain, electronics, and body hardware. On the hardware side, TNGA is the backbone. Toyota consolidated platforms to fewer, stiffer architectures that share hardpoints and components, so assembly variation drops. The official TNGA material talks about higher body rigidity and standardized modules, and earlier rollouts like the Prius documented big jumps in shell stiffness. In practice, that means doors stay aligned longer, trims rattle less, and the cabin holds its shape when the chassis is taking hits on bad roads. That's why even base models feel buttoned up after years of commuting and potholes. Safety testing is another clean read on build discipline. The IIHS raised the bar with tougher updated crash tests, and a stack of Toyotas still earned top safety pick, or pick plus. You don't survive the updated moderate overlap and side tests with loose tolerances or sloppy restraint tuning. Crash structure, weld integrity, and sensor calibration have to be consistent to lock those awards. There are trade-offs, and I don't sugarcoat them. Toyota, like most brands, has leaned harder into cost control on certain touch surfaces, and the market data still shows hybrids are the reliability sweet spot, while many EVs and PHEVs run higher issue rates industry-wide. Even with that context, the signal stays clear. Tight platforms, controlled variation, and third-party dependability stats that keep validating the process. Bet on that if you want a car that feels the same at 120,000 miles as it did at 12,000. 2. Lexus. I rank Lexus at the top of the Japanese pile for pure build discipline. The factories that pump these out, like Tahara and Kyushu, are set up for obsessive repeatability. Bodies get extra adhesive bonding and more spot welds per meter, doors use multi-lip seals, and you'll see consistent panel gaps even on cars with 6 figures on the odometer. Switchgear is cycle-tested to stupid numbers, which is why the buttons still click the same way years later. That tight process control shows up in the cabin with low NVH and almost zero squeaks once the chassis breaks in. Out on the road, the structure feels locked. Lexus leans into stiffer architectures, laser screw welding in key joints, and foam in pillars to kill resonance. You hear less tire slap on concrete, less wind whoosh around the A-pillars, and the dash stays quiet over sharp impacts. Even the seats are overbuilt. Bolsters keep their shape because the foam density and frame design are consistent batch to batch. I've torn down a couple of interiors, and the fastener strategy is clean, which means fewer points where trims can rub and make noise. That matters at 120,000 miles. Long-term data backs the feel. Lexus sits at or near the top in reliability and dependability studies most years, and owner surveys call out fewer electronic and body hardware faults. That tracks with what I see in shops. Fewer window regulator failures, fewer sunroof rattle comebacks, fewer random sensor gremlins after 5 winters. Paint and leather quality hold up better than most rivals, with fewer clear-coat failures in hot climates and stitching that does not wave or fray early. There are trade-offs. Some models skew conservative on materials in hidden spots to save weight, and infotainment updates lag rivals. But if you want to build something that stays tight, Lexus is the GOAT among Japanese badges. 3. Mazda. Mazda wins people over in the first 5 minutes because the stuff you touch feels dialed. Switches click with the same weight across the cabin, stitch lines track straight, and panel gaps stay even around tight curves. The paint is a flex. Their Taku Minuri process lays color and clarity with that deep, wet look that still pops under garage LEDs. Sit in a Mazda 3 or CX-5 and you'll get it. Out on the road, the structure feels sorted. Skyactiv body uses a lot of high-tensile steel and structural adhesives to raise rigidity without packing on weight. That pays off in fewer trim buzzes when the chassis takes a hit. You also feel the tuning work in how the car settles after bumps. G-vectoring control plays with engine torque to load the front tires smoothly, which helps the cabin stay quiet because parts aren't fighting each other. It's nerdy, but it works. Long-term, I've seen Mazdas hold alignment and interior tightness better than most peers in the same price bracket. Door seals keep their compression, and seat foam doesn't pancake early. Reliability is solid on the naturally aspirated 2 and 2.5 engines when service intervals are followed. Early cylinder deactivation, 2.5 seconds, had some owner complaints, but the later calibrations and hardware updates cleaned a lot of that up. Hybrids and EVs are still limited in their lineup, so the bread and butter is conventional powertrains that techs know well. There are trade-offs. Infotainment has lagged rivals on screen size and app speed, and some models use thinner underbody coatings than I'd like for Rust Belt life. But if you care about tactile quality, paint depth, and cabins that stay rattle-free past 100,000 miles, Mazda punches way over price. Bet that attention to the little things is why these cars feel premium even when the badge isn't. 4. Honda. Honda earns respect on the hard stuff. The crash structures are legit, with the Ace body design spreading impact loads, so the cabin stays intact, and recent models keep pulling IIHS, top safety pick wins. For 2025, Civic Hatch and Accord sit at the top tier. HR-V and Pilot also score. That kind of consistency doesn't happen if stampings, weld counts, and sensor calibration are sloppy. It points to steady body rigidity control and restraint tuning that's repeatable plant to plant. Day to day, the cabins hold together well. Hinges keep alignment, trim buzz is rare, and switchgear feel is uniform across the car. The bigger read comes from third-party scorecards. In Consumer Reports' latest brand reliability roll-up, Honda sits in the leading group behind Subaru, Lexus, and Toyota. That lines up with owner-reported fault rates trending low on engines, transmissions, and body hardware. Long-haul, used brand rankings also keep Honda near the front, which tracks with what I see in shops when these cross 100K miles. Bet, the fundamentals are still there. There are known blemishes. The 1.5-liter turbo oil dilution problem on early CR-V and Civic applications showed up hardest in cold climates with short trips, and Honda issued a service campaign with software and hardware changes to mitigate it. It's not a current-gen crisis, but it's a reminder that small boosted engines need tight thermal and calibration control to avoid fuel loading the sump. On broader dependability rankings, Honda isn't topping the latest VDS list the way Lexus or Toyota do, which tells me there's still room to tighten electronics and paint process consistency in certain plants. Net take: if you want a driver's compact or midsize that stays tight, Honda's still a safe play. 5. Subaru. Subaru hooks me with fundamentals. The boxer engine sits low, drops the center of gravity, and pairs with symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive, so balance and traction stay predictable when roads get ugly. The Subaru Global Platform stiffened the shell big time compared to the old cars, which helps ride control, crash energy management, and cabin quiet. Out on broken pavement, the structure feels planted, and the interior trims don't argue. That's the good stuff. Now the pain points. Older EJ25s were notorious for head gasket failures, especially in salt and heat, and plenty of those cars are still floating around used lots. Early FB Series 4 cylinders had oil consumption complaints until updates landed. Subaru's CVTs have real-world miles behind them, but the brand had to extend coverage on several model years, which tells you durability scatter existed. My rule with their CVTs is simple: verify fluid service history even if the manual says lifetime, because heat cycles are not kind when owners skip maintenance. Body and finish need eyes on. Salt belt cars can show underbody rust sooner than rivals if they weren't washed and protected, and there were corrosion and brake line campaigns in the past. Paint is on the softer side compared to Toyota or Lexus, so chips show up faster on highway commuters. Cabin materials are fine, but you'll occasionally catch a rattle if a clip wasn't seated right during build or after a glass replacement. Windshield cracking complaints have also popped up on certain generations, so inspect for star brakes at the edges. Net take: if you want safe, stable, all-weather performance and a chassis that feels honest, Subaru delivers. Just buy newer SGP-based cars, confirm engine updates and CVT service, and check the underbody, brake lines, and glass closely. Do that, and you get the capability without the headaches. 6. Nissan. Shop time with Nissans is a mixed bag. The newest stuff feels tighter. Rogue, built from 2021 on the CMF-C platform, shows cleaner panel alignment and quieter cabins, and the 2022 Up Pathfinder from Smyrna tightened interior fit and door sealing compared to the previous General. Steering columns don't chatter over rough concrete like the old days, and the front subframes resist flex better under hard braking. That's progress you can hear and feel. History still matters. The big drag on Nissan's build reputation was CVT durability scattered across multiple model years. Jatco units in Sentra, Altima, Rogue, and others generated enough failures that Nissan issued extended warranties and service campaigns in waves. I've seen belt slips and overheat codes, cook fluid, and takeout pumps when owners skipped early fluid changes. If the maintenance record is thin, walk. Earlier paint systems on economy models also chipped fast, and some Rust Belt cars showed rear crossmember corrosion quicker than peers. Window regulators and door lock actuators were common parts counter trips. Inside, pre-2020 economy trims used plastics that wore glossy and squeaked around the center stack once temps swung. There are bright spots. The VQ Series V6 remains stout with clean oil and cooling, and the newer 9-speed automatics in Frontier, Pathfinder, and Z have been steadier than the problem CVTs when serviced on time. VC Turbo 4s pull well, but need strict oil quality to keep the multi-link compression gear happy. If you're shopping Nissan today, aim for fresh platform builds, verify software and TSB updates, and demand proof of transmission fluid intervals. On the test drive, listen for A-pillar wind whoosh at 70, feel for the steering column tick over expansion joints, and check hatch alignment at the roof seam. Do that, and you can land a solid Nissan without inheriting someone else's headaches.